So, good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Ian, and I am one of the Market Center Tech trainers for Keller Williams. I also have Danny with me. She will be co-teaching for our workshop for today, which is paid campaigns or paid social campaigns.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Thanks, everyone, for your time and for joining the call today. We're going to start off with a little bit of a discussion, actually, on paid social campaigns. This is really the major way that you can lead generate through command. Lead generate, get new leads into your sales funnel to hopefully turn into clients and sales. If everyone else could mute, please. Okay, great. Sorry, we just had a little background noise there, so make sure you're muted and feel free to unmute if you would like to add to the discussion. So has anyone on this call tried paid social campaigns through command before?
I have been trying to create some ad, but there has been a lot of issue with connecting with the the account, and so okay. I'm trying to figure out what is going on. And finally, I was able to get command connect to my Facebook business page just like a few minutes ago after like several days try to figure out what the problem. It used to be my business page used to be connected with commands. For some reason it just kicked me out, and then I was trying to get it back for many days, and finally I was able to do something. I just click on Facebook and do all the crazy stuff, and I have no idea how that.
Okay, well, so I'm glad you were able to get connected to one, and actually we can go ahead and show that next, how you would connect your Facebook business page. It is really important that you have your business page set up prior to trying to do this, because that is a requirement. You do need a Facebook business page in order to run an ad. And the way that command is going to connect with your business page, it's actually going to have you connect your personal Facebook, and then it will recognize what pages you manage from there. So you're going to go to the settings section by clicking on your name, the drop down in settings. So that's where we are now. And you're going to find the Facebook link, not that one, because that one is for Facebook post scheduling, but the one that says Facebook Ads Manager. That's the one that needs to be connected in order for command to be able to handle the Facebook ads. So that's the one you want to make sure is connected. And once you click the button to connect, it's going to ask you to sign into your Facebook account, and it's going to have you confirm a few terms and conditions. Okay, we can go back to the campaigns page now. Since my accounts are already connected, I don't really have a way to test that with you. And I don't want to disconnect because Ian is in my account right now, and I don't know what my Facebook login is. So again, you're going to connect to your personal Facebook account, and it's going to recognize what business pages you have access to or manage through your personal page. So as we go through this, actually, you'll notice that I actually manage a few pages. And I want to talk a little bit more about doing this for lead generation and your expectations. So it's a way that you can get leads from Facebook, and they're not all going to be qualified leads. They might not all even remember clicking on your ad or entering their contact information. They might not respond right away. So one thing that's really great to have is a Facebook follow-up smart plan, so that if the person doesn't respond on your initial call to them, you can put them on a smart plan where they'll receive some type of series of communications from you that are automated. And then maybe they respond like a month or two down the line. So I would look in smart plans for a good Facebook ad follow-up plan to set to have people funnel on to after you capture them. Go ahead, Juan.
Question. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just don't want to forget the question. So how does the Facebook ad work? Let's say we get the information by the way that they click on the ad, or they actually put in requests for information. Because
so first we're going to show you how to set up the ad, and you have to use the Facebook lead generation form. So they click on your ad, and then a box pops up with their information auto-filled. And then they just have to submit that. So that's how it works. There's not really a way for me to show you that through this. We can show you a preview of the ad, but I can't show you a simulation, but that's how it works. So they click the ad, a box pops up and auto-populates with their contact information, and then they just click submit. So there are separate metrics for cost per click. That's the middle column that's empty here that you can see. So I haven't actually run ads through my account. I'll show you at the end another account that I have run ads through. But so the first metric is cost per 1,000 impressions. I know it says CPM, and here's where the description is. It's that little I button that's on the right side of this webpage. So cost per 1,000 impressions. I know that it says CPM, and that is not, necessarily cost per 1,000, but that is basically how many people actually saw your ad in their feed. They may not have stopped on it. They may have kept scrolling, but that's how many people your ad was served to per 1,000. So it's giving you the cost per 1,000 impressions. And then the next metric it gives you is CPC, cost per click. So that's how many people clicked your ads. People might click your ad and then they might not submit their contact information, right? How many times have we done that? I know I do it sometimes where I'll click on an ad and I want to see where it takes me, but then, I don't want to enter my contact info. So the next metric is cost per lead captured. So that's your cost per lead. Your cost per lead is always going to be higher than your cost per click unless every single person that clicks your ad submits their contact. So there's not really a pattern that I see, honestly, as far as cost per click or cost per lead captured. I can't tell you how much leads you're going to get for spending, $50 or $100. It depends on your ad, but cost per impressions, it tends to be about $30 per 1,000 impressions, or maybe even cheaper. So pretty much, Facebook is going to serve your ad to 1,000 people for $30, or maybe even more people than that. But again, to get someone to actually click your ad and then to get them to submit their contact information, that's going to depend on what your ad says and the photos. It's going to depend on your ad itself. And the ads that typically do the best are ads to promote a listing. So that's what I'm going to show you today, is how to build an ad to promote a listing. Now, if you don't have a listing, I recommend reaching out to the top agents or agents that have listings within your office and asking their permission to do a Facebook ad to promote their listing. And I'll show you how to do that and stay in compliance. Okay, I'll show you how to do that and stay in compliance. Because,
Also,
go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So also I'd like to add something. So maybe most of you would be wondering why would we go through the trouble of doing this instead of going directly to Facebook. Like Danny mentioned earlier, this is better because first is when they sign up that form, the contact information of those people who signed up the form or those possible leads would automatically be transferred to your command. Unlike if it goes through the Facebook, or if you use Facebook, what would happen is you would have to uh, export a CSV file, and you would have to go manually do that for each let's say every day within 7 days or the given time frame. So you don't want to do that every day, right? It's going to be time consuming.
Yeah, so Ian's right. That's a great benefit. Your contacts are going to come directly into your contact section of command when you run the ad through here. You'll get that notification and you get an email with all the lead info. So you can call them right away. There are a couple other additional benefits too. Like you can pull the listing off of our listing feed, and that way you don't have to manually upload the photos. You don't have to manually type in the description. So when you go and ask that top agent, can I use your listing? The selling points are it's free advertising for you. I'm paying for the ad. I'll give you, you can mention that they're the listing agent on the ad, you know, or you can just mention the listing office along with your information for compliance. So really there's only upside for that. You're again, free advertising for them. And you don't have to ask them for the photos or the description because that's automatic. You can import it from the KW listing feed. So any questions before we dive in and we actually show you how to build this ad?
Oh, question about you know, earlier we talked about the pay per click and pay per, what is that? Capture, something like that.
Cost per click and cost per lead.
Leads, capture, something like that. Is that an additional cost beside that we have to pay for daily fee?
That's a great question. No, it's not an additional cost. This is just telling you that based on the amount you have spent on the ad, how much it's costing you on average per click, per lead. So for example, if I spend $50 on an ad and I get 10 leads, it's going to tell me that my cost per lead is $5 per lead. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
It's going to average it out for me. Also, brings up a good point. So how the system charges, it just charges you the same amount that Facebook would if you run your ad through Facebook. And it's going to charge you when you publish your ad. It'll charge you the full amount up front. So if for some reason, let's say you want to pause your ad or stop your ad early, by the way, there's not a way to cancel your ad. You can stop your ad and then it'll hold it until the last day it's scheduled to run through. And the reason is, what if you decide to turn it back on? So it'll just pause it. And then at the end of the date it was scheduled to finish, it will cancel itself. So there will be no way to then turn it back on. And whatever money it charged you up front that was not spent, it will credit that towards your next ad. And it shows you in that last column how much was spent. So you see, I don't actually run the ads. I haven't spent anything. Again, I will show you another account at the end where I do run ads to show you some real numbers and then how this looks with metrics. So let's go ahead and get started and we'll actually create the campaign. Go ahead, Ian, take it away.
Thank you. So for you to create a campaign, first you can click on the green create campaign button on the upper right, and another window will pop up. So since we're creating an ad, we are going to choose social ad, this one.
paid, right?
Yes. And of course, we are going to enter a campaign name. Let's say demo campaign listing. So you type in the name. We're going to choose advertise listing since that's what we're trying to do. And after we click that, we're going to scroll down a bit. And if you see, we have these boxes here that says Facebook, Instagram. So for now, we're just going to do both of these. We're not going to add Twitter.
Yeah.
But of course, if you want to do Twitter as well, you can put a check on that.
And just a quick note, you don't connect this to Instagram in any way. It's actually just going to serve your ad from your Facebook business page onto Instagram because Facebook owns Instagram now. So that is how it would work. You don't need to have a Facebook or I'm sorry, a business Instagram page. And there's no way to actually connect the Instagram. Again, just going to serve it from your Facebook business page, also on Instagram.
Quick question on this one. What is the difference between advertising listing, attract listing, and attract buyers? Which one should I go with? Because there are so many options.
It's really just for kind of tracking purposes.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Not going to be that big of a difference if you choose one over the other.
Okay.
So I'll continue. So after you've selected Facebook and Instagram, we're going to click on create campaign.
All right, let's go to the listing.
Yeah.
So in the top right corner under the search, you're going to click so it's not showing only my listings since I don't have any. So you're going to select all listings. And then instead of searching by property address at the top left, search by listing agent and then type in Tim Brown. Tim Brown always has listings, so hopefully this will pull one up that we can use. Okay, that's not him.
You know, it's so funny. It's so funny. I tried to do that earlier. Search for Tim Brown or Mia Tamaki, something like that, but never anything show up.
So actually, I do see one of his listings. It's that $5 million listing, 301 Alimony. But I think that one might just be land. So we're going to leave that one. And then here's his other listings, 594 Lombard, and then the 22nd Street. So let's go ahead and select that one, Ian, right there, 594 Lombard.
Okay, so if you noticed, I've selected the 594 Lombard listing. And just a quick note, let me skip this. Just a quick note.
Wait, sorry to interrupt, but that purple thing is a guide and it will show you how to use this page. So if you leave that open and you go on to the next step, it will show you what each component of this page is.
That's a nice note. Thank you, Danny. So if you noticed, for the main copy text box, it's already pre-filled. That's because we linked the listing here. Is that right, Danny?
Yeah, pretty cool, right? So saves you the time. We will edit that text, but
yes. So you can edit this. What would you want me to put?
Actually, before you edit that, you know what I like to do is rename the ad after the address. So 594 Lombard. Just
This one.
easier when looking at it.
594 Lombard.
And great, awesome. And then for the text, just a couple pointers here, everybody. So I don't like to mention the address anywhere. I don't like to also mention the price anywhere. And the reason is because if you give all that information away up front, what reason are you giving them to click on? The other
And
thing, go ahead.
yeah, sorry. So one more reason why we don't want to give those away is because they might use other platforms and we don't want them doing that, right?
Right, exactly. Then they could just Google the address. And then this is a $2 million home, you know, what if it's way out of their budget, but they would have otherwise clicked on the ad and maybe had you help them find another place that's within their budget. So that's another reason why we don't put the price. We don't want to discourage anyone, since especially our prices are high in this area. So lastly, you do want to put in lots of emojis where you can, because emojis have been proven to stop people from scrolling. I know it sounds a little silly and you might not be an emoji person, but okay, so the reason it's actually not working right now is because there's a 250 character limit
already.
So we actually need to cut down some of the text. So let's see. Let's edit out. I'm going to request remote control from you, Ian. Actually, yeah, you can just go ahead and delete that second sentence because it's very fluffy and we don't have very much space for text. So also, we probably should say like how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, which if you click up above back to the listing, 594 Lombard Street, don't click change listing, but click on the actual address.
No.
I'm sorry.
Elena, go ahead and mute everybody. So maybe you do have to click change listing, actually. Try that. Ian, can you give me co-host abilities so I can mute people with background noise, please?
Okay.
Real quick. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to mute everyone temporarily and feel free to unmute if you have a question. Did it give you that information, Ian? Otherwise, we can just Google that property. No? Oh my gosh, maybe I accidentally muted you because I don't hear you.
Oh, there.
No, I didn't. Did I? Sorry.
I was on mute earlier.
So actually X that out and just go ahead and Google that property to find out what the beds, baths.
It's gonna be 594 Albert. This is right?
Yep.
And which one would you want me to go? Would you want me to use Redfin, Zillow?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right, so it's 3 beds, 3.5 baths. Go back to our campaign. And then the text portion. All right, and let me type this in for us here. We don't need. So kind of you only have enough characters to be straight to the point. Okay, so now I'm going to insert some more emojis that I like to use, like the bed and then the bathtub. And then I'm going to just cut these and then paste them into the text. I also like to use the home emoji. Okay, in a boutique 3-unit building. And then let's see if there's anything else noteworthy about this. Definitely if there's outdoor space, you want to mention that. Okay. I don't see anything about outdoor space, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it as that. And I could put something like, and then you can say something that creates urgency, like, okay, whoops, sorry guys. Ian, I'm gonna have you type it in since it's giving me difficulties. You can type in, this home will sell fast. And then maybe add in the fire emoji there. And Kimberly Alexander, it looks like you have your hand up. Go ahead and ask away.
Yes, I noticed that in the description, it says the walk score is 99%.
Yeah. So what is your comment on that?
That means that it's near a lot of, is walkable. 99% is a high percentage. That means it's close to everything.
So that is true, very true. I already mentioned the neighborhood, and given that we only have 250 characters and I still need to leave room for DRE number and the compliance information, I'm not going to be able to include all the details. But you know, when you build your ad, if you think that something is a huge selling point, you know, put that in there. That's totally up to your discretion. If you think it's something that's going to sell the home, or get you the clients faster. In my ad here, you know, I kind of like to remain like a little bit vague about the property, because again, I'm not mentioning the address. I'm not mentioning the price. My intention isn't really to necessarily sell this specific home. It's to get more clients in my funnel. But of course, like if your intention is to sell this property, and to find the client via the ad, you can include whatever information you want in that copy. Totally up to your discretion. And then, like I said, I still needed to leave room for the compliance information. So that would be like, listed by, and in our state, you can put your office name and the DRE number. And then you also need to put your information as well, even though you're not the listing agent, because you're posting a real estate related ad, you need to put your info. And I can't remember my number, so I just made that up. So I do actually have 30 more characters left, so there is space. I would probably take some time and add a few more emojis in here, maybe walk score, some other information. I'm going to move on to headline for now.
Hey, Danny, before you move on to headlines, do you have to include the line, each office separately owned by whatever it is, each office independently owned?
No, you do not need to add that. That would take up so much of our text. Okay, so what I'm going to do for the headline is copy this little home emoji and then paste it here. We have even fewer characters for this, so I actually normally find it pretty challenging to get something in the headline that is really a hook. So let's see what else. I mean, really, that's all that's going to fit.
Yeah. Also, if I may ask, if you notice the picture on the right, it's getting updated as well. So it's showing you the preview of how our ad would look like.
I have a question. We should mention the DRE number every posting.
Yes.
It must, right?
It must. You don't have to mention your office, but because I'm not the listing agent of this house, I do, because it's listed, this is the broker. And then your name and DRE number needs to be on every single posting. Yes.
Even though Instagram or Facebook just showing the house at that time also I should mention the DRE number?
You have to, if it's anything real estate related whatsoever.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
We don't have to put a listing agent name.
So I just addressed that. It is technically listed by the broker.
Okay.
So that's why I put the office instead of the listing agent name.
So broker's DRE number also, posting together.
Yes, but that doesn't cancel the fact that you need to also have your own in there as well. You must have your own. And then the description, this is not shown in all instances of the ad. So we don't want to spend too much time on this. And usually I say something simple like click here for additional property details or to schedule a tour. And then I use the pointy finger that's kind of pointing towards the right. Where is it? Okay, that didn't work great. And then see how it shows up here in the preview? All right, and then we're going to save the text portion, and then Ian is going to move on to the media section.
All right. So we're going to click on configure. And if you notice, it's going to give you an option to add more. But from what I know, you don't have to do that because this is already listed or it's automated. Is that right, Danny?
So yeah, it is automated. However, you can have up to 5 photos. And I do recommend using, if it's a nice listing with nice photos, put up to 5, do the max, because it will actually optimize for you whichever photo is getting the most clicks or doing the best, it will start to show that photo first.
So of course, you have the option to change or crop the image or delete it. So just click on the three dots here, and you have the option to drag and drop the DBA logo. And of course, the option to change it if you want it to be placed on the left or the right. And just to piggyback on what Danny said earlier about optimizing the photo. So actually it's Facebook who's gonna optimize that.
Yes, so it will just do it automatically. And then again, if any of them have like really good lighting or
Nothing. Just waiting on Diane for the meeting.
Hey, everybody, make sure you're muted if you have background noise, please. What was I just saying? If you have some really great photos, like this one's okay, but probably you want to swap this one out for maybe make sure you have some variety in here, something that shows the space is a little bigger, preview and crop. And then you are always going to use the square, which is best for most placements. There are other options that it will auto crop to, but this is the one you want to use.
And since we added Instagram, or we're using Instagram as well, so square would be the best cropping size.
Exactly. And you want to keep that in mind when you're selecting the photos too. Which ones can you crop to a square and have them still look great? So I'm just going to take a second here to get a couple good shots in. And again, maximum 5, especially you want to highlight if there's any outdoor space. Which this one, I don't think it does, but. Yeah, unfortunately, no. So I'll get maybe one bedroom shot. And then I'm just going to leave it at this. Oops.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing that I always every time when I try to post on Facebook or Instagram, I having an issue is the size of the photo is always an issue. Or some even though on command, sometimes I need when I need to upload my photo, I have to adjust the size. Is there a quick way to help to do that instead of go through all the adjusting the size and the pixel in order to be able to download into the picture into the app?
So are you posting on them through command and having this difficulty, or is it just when you're posting directly on Facebook?
Both. So for example, this morning I tried to upload my my profile photo and then it didn't work. So I had to go back to photo and do all the size adjusting in order to be able to download into command. And the same thing on Instagram and Facebook too. It just like
you are gonna have to, I think you're gonna have to, especially if it's the size of the photo, you're gonna have to edit those outside of those platforms.
okay.
Okay, and then Peter, it actually has this place where you can click to include your ownership statement or not. So, I mean, I don't think, oh, it does actually say there's an asterisk. So I don't know, if it forces you to move forward with this, then just go ahead and add it in there. And then, your DBA logo, ours is already preloaded in here, but that is your market center logo that you're gonna wanna have uploaded for compliance. And then Facebook and Instagram settings. Ian, you wanna go ahead and go over that?
Yes. So of course we're going to click on configure again, and you would need to fill this up if it's not preloaded yet. For Facebook, we're gonna use the Facebook lead generation form. This is always recommended, but also have the option to choose a site land or a landing page for the listing.
So it's not letting you move on until you select a Facebook page. So
Yes.
here, I mentioned I manage several Facebook pages. So here it gives me the option to select of the pages it's connected to.
So which one would you want me to choose here, Danny?
You can go ahead and just select the first one.
Okay.
And that one has to be a business page, right?
It won't even show up there unless it's a business page.
Okay.
So yes, it does have to be a Facebook business page for you to do this.
Yeah, so it's asking me to log in.
Okay, so let's see. For now, I don't remember my login, so we're not going to be able to confirm that. So like we're encountering right now, it's asking Ian to log in to my Facebook to confirm some terms and conditions. Actually, go ahead and switch the page. See if you can switch what page we're running it on in the drop down up above where we selected which page. And select the next one down. Danielle Kyle, real estate agent. Not that one, the one without the DRE number. There we go. So this one is I've already accepted the terms and conditions. So it's allowing us to move forward with the Facebook lead generation form. Okay, so this is really important. If you actually don't select the Facebook lead gen form, you're not going to be able to collect any leads for this ad. And also it will still ask you for a website URL, a landing page to take them to after they put their contact information in. So if you do select to use or site or landing page here, it's basically either or. So if you do select this, you're not going to collect leads for this ad. So if you want leads, you want to select this option. And then for this next step, for the button label, that's what shows up right here. And I'm usually going to select learn more unless it makes more sense with whatever you put for the headline and the text. If it makes more sense for them to click sign up, you can select that or apply now, but I normally put just learn more. And then a website URL is required. I don't recommend sending them to a landing page for the property because again, then they've got all the property details and the price and they don't really have a reason to need your help. So I recommend just putting your personal agent website here. Just go ahead and put your KW agent website there. If you do want to give them the address and the property information, one thing that's really great that you could do is go to your agent website and then find that property, which was, let's see.
594 Lombard.
Thank you. And then you can link to this page. So this is if you do want to really give them the property. And this way it's linking back to you. And if they create an account, great. You'll get a notification in command. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this URL. And then Ian, why don't you take it away for the custom settings?
Okay, so for custom settings, what we have is, of course, it would ask you to choose which would be your target market. and you can choose target my database. So that would be your contacts. Is that right, Danny?
Yep, and let's see about database targeting. I think this is new. So if we click that, this will upload a custom list of Facebook. You're able to target based on tag, neighborhoods, associated, or both. So if you do select this, it will let you create an audience group based on tag or neighborhood. You do have to have a certain number of contacts in order for this to work. I think it's like 300 or so people in your audience group, and it's basically going to take their email addresses and it's going to cross-reference those email addresses with what's listed in people's Facebook profiles. And that's how this will target people. So for now, we're not going to target people in my database. And we'll just move on to custom. Sorry, Ian, maybe you can click that for me. It's not just selecting. So we're going to just move on with targeting a custom audience based on radius and interest groups. Ian, go ahead. So it automatically is going to select your location based on the listing. Am I frozen? Am I frozen?
No.
No,
Okay.
no,
Sorry.
you're okay.
Might have been for a second. Okay. So it's going to just automatically find the location of the listing, the city, and then you can assign a radius to it. I recommend doing at least 30 miles. The minimum, I think, is 15. Whenever we have tried to be very targeted, like with just a 15-mile radius and maybe 2 or so interest groups, you know, the idea behind it is that maybe I'll get more qualified, you know, people to buy in my target market. However, using only 15 miles radius and using only a couple interest groups, it just severely limits the number of people that your ad can be served to. There are many interest groups that I think are beneficial. I'm gonna I have a list of interest groups. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. If you're gonna use interest groups, then I recommend these. However, my main recommendation is to not use any interest groups, because I'm just noticing that ads do better when no interest groups are selected. Does anyone have questions about that?
Since you asked, the response is not as great. You're talking about gross numbers, right? That's all you can measure is gross numbers. Yeah, okay.
Correct.
The advertising theory would be if it's a smaller number, but it's more dedicated and more specific on exactly who you want to respond, then it's more valuable. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So it depends on what is your definition of successful results here. And if successful results for you are people that are actually interested, even if that means getting fewer of them, then go ahead and use the interest groups. But if your idea of a successful ad is getting the most leads, the most clicks, and the lowest cost per lead, cost per click, and the most impressions, then you don't want to use any interest groups. And I can't guarantee also, like, because the quality of leads, regardless in either scenario, has been pretty much the same from what agents are telling me. But the idea behind it is if you use interest groups, if you're more targeted, you will find people that are more likely to buy or sell than just the average person inside that radius. In this next part, is really cool, the lead settings. So this is really new. So if you've attended this a while ago, you might not have seen these settings yet. Ian, why don't you go ahead and explain these?
Yes, so in lead settings, as it shows you, it gives us an option to auto tag. So when you click on this, it will give you the tags that you have created. And let's say that for people that you wanted to be auto tagged, which are located in San Francisco. So they, from what I understand, Danny, they will get like a notification for this
No,
that you.
they don't get notified of a tag. That's just for our internal, it's just when they come into our database, you don't have to manually tag them. It just is automatically on to whatever contacts come in from this ad.
And one thing here about lead settings is assigning them to a smart plan. So remember that one way to make money as a real estate agent is via follow-up. So that's what we're gonna do here.
Yeah, and remember at the beginning of the call, everybody, I mentioned that it's really great to find a really good Facebook ad lead follow-up in smart plans, and you can even build one from scratch if you want to. But if you have one of those and get it set up, it's really great to just have people auto assign to smart plan. Then you don't have to manually add them to it. They'll just automatically start receiving those communications. And one more thing on this, I always like to create a new tag if it's for a specific property, to tag them with Facebook ad lead, to create a tag for that, and then also create a tag for the address that you are advertising. So that way, when the lead comes in or you look at the lead, you know, okay, it was for this property address and it was a Facebook ad lead. Okay. And you can actually create the new tag for the property right here. Like if I just go ahead and click an auto tag and I start to type in, what was this address?
594 Lombard.
And then I can go ahead and create a new tag and select a color and then click add. And then it's gonna go ahead and add that. And then I already have one for Facebook ad lead. So then that information will be on the lead. Does that make sense? And
Yeah.
I don't think I have a Facebook follow-up smart plan in here, but highly recommend that everyone do that. And you can save. And we're almost at the end here. Ian, go ahead and take it away with the duration and budget, the last part.
Thank you. So for duration and budget, as we can see here, it is recommended that a 10 days campaign and a budget of $1 per channel per day, because ads may take up to 24 hours to be reviewed by Facebook before becoming active. So what it means is if you give your ad the time frame of, let's say, 4 or 5 days, you might not be getting your money's worth.
I do recommend spending more money than $1 a day. So I'm going to show you guys some ad statistics, some ads that I've run in just a moment here. But I do recommend spending more money, like more like $50 an ad or $30 per ad, and maybe running it for 7 to 10 minutes.
Okay, and for this part, as we can see, it gives us the option to change or manage our total campaign budget. Do we have like a limit for this, or it depends on the person?
Really, it's just up to each person's what they want to spend. But I would keep in mind set a budget for yourself. Like, how much do you want to spend to get leads? And if it's your first time maybe running an ad. Maybe you just want to spend $30 and maybe you want to set the duration for 10 days like this one and see what happens.
Question, Danny.
Yeah.
So when we set for the duration and budget, the channel is $1 per channel. So we selected Instagram and Facebook. That means two of them, right? That means $2 per day.
So this one is set for 10 days at $30 total. So it's averaging $150 per channel, which is fine.
No, but we selected two channels.
Correct.
Instagram
Yes.
and Facebook. So that means it's a $3 per day for both two channels.
Correct. Yeah. And again, it mentions here daily per channel cost is $150. Do you see that here?
Yes. I just want to make sure. Okay, thank you.
And it breaks it down at the very bottom, 10 days, $150 a day per channel, $30 total. So you got all that information on here. And then honestly, I don't recommend spending it evenly across both channels. If you use the other option for automatic placements, Facebook and Instagram are just gonna automatically optimize your spend to try and get you more impressions. So go ahead and check off that box, Ian, for use automatic. And then save.
Are we able to see our ad?
So the ad preview is on the right-hand side.
No, I mean when it active, are we where can we go and look for the ad? Let's say if I am on Facebook.
You can't go and look for the ad, and I can't guarantee you're going to see it because again, it's serving your ad based on the radius, the audience groups. I can't guarantee you're going to be served your own ad.
Oh, so that means let's say you might come across with your ad or might not, basically.
Correct. Yeah, you may or may not.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's not going to be posted on your Facebook page like a regular post. Ads are treated differently. So again, yeah, like Tuan said, you may or may not see it. If you want the property posted onto your business page, then also do it as a regular post. Otherwise, it's not going to show up on your page in your feed. Does that make sense? And then the last step is to publish the campaign or save the draft. When you publish the campaign, it's going to ask you to input your credit card info. And then we're just going to go ahead and save draft for now. But you guys make sure you publish the campaign, and then it's going to go through an approval process. It sometimes takes up to 24 hours to post. And real quick here, I'm going to take over the screen sharing and I'm going to show you guys some ad metrics. And I did drop the interest groups in the chat. So go ahead and take a look at those if you want to use interest groups. So here are some ads that I've run recently. They're all to promote properties. And, you know, I did tell you guys about some patterns. Like usually I'm seeing if I want to be able to count on impressions, well, I could pretty much count on $30 per 1,000 impressions. These ads did better. Remember, this is our cost per 1,000 impressions. So $14.87 per 1,000 impressions. So that was like half the average of what I'm seeing. This ad in total, we spent $30. We also got 72 clicks at 42 cents a pop and 10 leads at $3 a pop. These are San Francisco properties. Let me tell you, there was nothing that special about this property. It was a very small unit, a 1-bed, 1-bath, did not mention the price, did not mention the address. So I don't know if it was the photos. And again, it wasn't like spectacular, the photos. They were just, you know, okay. but this ad did great for $30. My cost per lead was very low. This next one, we did $50. And then my cost per impression, 1,000 impressions, was $22. So it was a little bit more expensive to get in front of the same number of people, 1,000 people. And then we had, and by the way, this number down below is the total impressions. Total. So I actually only got 200 more impressions. If you have background noise, please make sure you're muted. Okay, and then cost per click, 63 cents per click, and I got 79 clicks, not bad. And then 556 per lead, only 9 leads compared to that other ad. So it you know, as far as total leads, it didn't do as well as the one that I spent less money on. But I followed the same patterns with, I didn't mention price, I didn't mention the address. And I do mention the neighborhood. So it could be neighborhood, maybe one more desirable than another. And then this one is running currently, no leads so far and 2 clicks, only 89 impressions. So let me refresh actually, see if it's been served any more since I checked this an hour ago. Okay, 102 impressions. So my cost per 1,000 impressions is really high right now, $36.76, but it's probably going to get lower, that cost per 1,000, as time wears on. And more of my spend, you know, it's only spent $3.75 so far.
Danny, what is the impressions again? I forgot.
That is like literally when people are scrolling on their phone and they see your ad, maybe they don't click on it, maybe they don't even stop. That's one impression.
Oh, so that's the same thing on Instagram.
Same
right?
thing. Yeah.
Doesn't mean they click on the ad, they just like scroll through that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically how many people the ad was served to, how many screens it showed up on.
Is there a way to tell, or is that based on, like they looked at it for 2 seconds, or is there a way that they have to have looked at it for X amount of seconds? Supposed to I buy it?
There's not. Again, that's just how many screens it showed up on, period. Whether they scrolled past it or stopped, that's how many screens. Any other questions, everybody? I know we're a little bit over time, and I really appreciate your time today. I hope it was valuable for you guys. This class, they did add a couple new features since a couple of the last times I taught this that were really great, like the auto tagging and auto adding to a smart plan. So I hope you guys take advantage of those and the other benefits of running paid ads through Command. Any last questions before we sign off?
I'll go. What's the biggest, what are a couple of differences between Boost and ads? And do they look the same if I were to see them on my feed?
To be honest, I can't remember if they look the same to the consumer. I can't remember, but I do know that as far as us as the administrators, when we run those, the difference is you don't have the option to target if you're just boosting. You're just simply paying for more eyeballs on that. I don't even think it gives you an area or radius or anything like that. So a boost is more for like brand awareness or just literally to get more eyeballs on what you're posting, like throwing it against the wall and seeing if it sticks and how many people like it. And you're not going to get leads from a boosted post unless they comment or they direct message you.
Okay, good, thanks.
Yeah.
I don't know if we missed this or I missed this regarding about how do we get an alert about the leads and where they from?
Yeah, so that will be on this bell symbol in the top right corner, new lead info captured. And you also will get an email with the contact's information.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danny, great. Thanks, Ian.
Welcome. And also one more thing, if you do want to check, you can just click this lead count and then you can see all the leads info.
Oh, sorry. One more quick question before we get off, Danny. Do we get the alert from the Kelly app?
Yeah, you should get the alert from Kelly, but Kelly is only like a pager.
Yeah,
You can't actually click the lead and see the info or do anything with it through Kelly. You would have to log into command on your mobile phone and then go ahead and view that lead information.
Okay, but we do get the alert from Kelly. That's
Yeah.
okay.
The
Thank you.
lead comes in, yes.
Well, thank you so much. I have to go.
Okay, bye everybody. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.